Welcome to the Sunny Days Podcast. I am your host, Sunny Brooks, and I'm so excited to have you. This show was created to inspire women to heal from their past, take control of the present, and manifest their future. Here you will get love, laughter, support, and straight realness. So if you're ready to get rid of your shit and live unapologetically, this is for you. Let's start healing, living, and fucking manifesting. I have 3 questions today. I'm going to leave them anonymous. Last week I didn't leave them anonymous, but it's okay. I'll leave them anonymous today. But I have 3 questions that I'm going to answer. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. If not, it's cool. Just stay and watch and enjoy Sunnyside. The first question is, how do I deal with negative people in my life and all the negativity around me? Okay, so I'll probably do this as 2-part questions. So the first part is, how do I deal with negative people in my life? The easy, this is so funny to me because I just say cut them off, but that is not rational. And you can't have you definitely can't have a no bullshit attitude in life, but you can't just go through life just saying, oh, I'm gonna just get rid of relationships and get rid of people and all of that, and I'm going to avoid addressing it head on. However, if people are too negative and they are crossing your boundaries and not safe and loving and compassionate to you, there's no reason for them to be around, right? And a lot of times the negativity comes from our family, and that's where we get torn in between the two. Like, oh my gosh, this is my family, this is my blood, I'm supposed to be loyal to them, I have to deal with this because they're my family, and I'm still a human, I have feelings, so I don't want to deal with it either. However, dealing with negative people is when it comes to these situations, one thing I know that's very important when it comes to people who are negative, right, is setting boundaries. Boundaries is extremely important because it allows people to be in your life, but also it gives you and give them some sort of structure on how to treat you, how to talk to you, how to interact with you, and things like that. Boundaries are important because you don't want anybody to, disrespect you or hurt your feelings or cause you any trauma or any pain that you don't have to go through. So how do you deal with them? First, I'm all about communicating. So I would say communicate with them, right? Especially if we have something that they're doing directly to us or saying something directly to us. Like, hey, hey, cuz, could we talk for a minute? You got some time? Hey, I really don't like. And when we're talking to these people, we can't put all the blame on them, right? So I really don't like when the family's around, and sometimes you may say something, you may think it's funny and it's a joke, but it really hurts my feelings. Or, hey, I'm having a hard time understanding why you do this certain thing. Can you help me understand? Well, I don't like that, right? Having this conversation, open dialogue, because communication is key in any relationship, in a romantic relationship, friendships, family ships, anything. Communication is key in order for it to work. But communicating and putting your foot down, right? But then if it's negativity in a way that is not directly towards you, like it's just a negative environment, maybe limit the time you're at this environment. In this environment or at this place, limit the time you're there, or maybe don't be there at all. Or even if it's something like how they say negative Nancy's, you have an aunt or a grandma or someone who's just always complaining. It's like, I love my grandma, but she always complains. We have to learn how to separate people and their behaviors, right? I do think, of course, certain behaviors make a person, but I do know that certain behaviors does not make a person, if you follow me. However, so grandma may be loving and you're like, I want to be with my grandma. I want to spend time with my grandma. I love my grandma so much and I love being at her house. However, the behavior of her being a negative Nancy, she always talk about people, or she's always being negative. She's only looking at the negative stuff when I'm trying to be positive. One, this is your journey, so you control your outlook. And one of my advice is, like, I have family members like that, right? One of my things I do is I change the subject. They be like, yeah, so, the lady down the street, oh, grandma, let me tell you something real quick. You remember last year, right? And I just switched the whole subject. Or I don't engage in it, because a lot of times when people are negative and they're they're looking for negative in situations, and they're talking about negative, they're looking for some fuel, and you're adding fuel to their fire by saying, for real? Oh yeah? Well, why that happen? Let's not do that. Let's say, just sit there, quiet, right? While they're talking. Eventually they're going to stop talking about it. That's one way. A second way is, I was going to say the two way, but a second way you could deal with that, if it's indirectly, is maybe excusing yourself. So if you're at a family function and, something negative, there's talk about something negative, and you just don't want that to, interfere with your vibrations and your thoughts at that moment, just say, okay, I'm going outside with my cousins. I'm going on the front porch. I'm doing something, like you're getting away from the situation. It's not you avoiding it, but it's you protecting yourself. So you have to learn how to protect yourself in these situations, but not avoid it. And I'm not talking about if they say something that trigger you and you run away from it, right? Because you have to face triggers and pain and things like that head on. But we're talking about things once you are have dealt with those pains, right? Once you have dealt with those things and you want to, I guess, immerse yourself back in your normal routine or whatever, however you want to put it. When you do that, you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and have your non-negotiables and your boundaries in place so that you're like, okay, this is what I'm not going to do. And when this happens, because I love my family, I want to be around my family, let me go somewhere else. Let me do this. These are my action steps I'm going to take when people are being negative. That was a long answer. However, I hope I answered that. And the second part of that question is, how do I deal with people in my life and all the negativity around me? It's a famous quote that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I'll say that again. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's so true, because if you're always saying there's always negativity around you, the common factor, sorry to tell you, but the common factor is you, right? If everything is just negative, all your relationships are negative, your workspace is negative, your home life is negative, your personality is negative, everything is negative, the common factor is you. So we're not talking about dealing with outside sources, because I can always give you advice on how to deal with people and how to deal with relationships and how to deal with environments and things like that. But we have to deal with ourselves in a lot of situations. So if everything around us is negative, that means we're looking at everything in a negative lens. You're maybe saying, oh, my job is so negative, I hate my job, but you're looking at it in a negative lens. Have you tried looking at it in a positive lens? Have you tried looking at it in a lens like, oh, wow, I love my job, and this is so great because of this, because of this? Are you looking at it in a positive lens? One thing that I know that changes negativity is gratitude. So if everything around you is negative, try finding the good in the negative and be grateful for that. And when you find the good in the negative, that magnifies, because what we focus on, we attract, and what we focus on, we magnify, is magnified. So when we focus on the good in this negative situation, we will then magnify the good in all situations. However, that's a short answer to that question. The second question I got was, why would I forgive someone that hurt me? Doesn't that tell them it's okay? Absolutely not. That doesn't tell them that. This is something that I talked about in my I Choose Me program with my ladies, that we are forgiving someone that hurt us for us, so that we can be set free, so that we can move on, so that we can move lighter, so that these things that hurt us and these people that hurt us, they're no longer holding us back. They're no longer determining how we interact with others. They're no longer taking control and having control over our lives, right? Because this pain from years ago or pain from this person a lot of times dictate what's going on now, because it just lingers and we just sweep things under the rug, which no longer work. It never worked, but it damn sure is not working now. So Sorry about whatever that sound was. But what was I saying? Oh, well, yeah. We have to forgive them so that we can move on and we can be free, but we can take control of our life. Because this pain that this person mama did to me, or this pain that daddy caused me, or whatever the thing is, that literally is a direct connection. You can draw a line to some things, that some relationships now, or some self-limiting beliefs, or some fears and things that you have now. You can draw a direct line to that pain, right? And we don't want to be able to draw that direct line, because today we want to be able to live free without being molded and controlled by our pain. No, I'm not saying that the pain is not going to teach us lessons. The pain is going to make us a different person, and it's just all of our things that we have been through has shaped us to who we are. However, we want the positive from it and not necessarily the negative part of the pain. So we are forgiving them for us. We're forgiving them so that we can move on. We're forgiving them so that when we see them, our whole mood isn't changed. We're forgiving them so that if someone mentioned their name, we're not instantly mad. We're forgiving them because we're not allowing hurt and pain to be bottled up, and then we explode with anger and hatred later on down the road. We're forgiving them because we will want someone to forgive us for our wrongdoings and our pain that we may have caused someone. We're forgiving them so that we can move on. We're not forgiving them for nothing else. We're forgiving them for ourselves. We're not forgiving them for them. We don't need their closure. We don't need their validation. We don't need their reasoning. We don't need anything from them to forgive them. We're finding it within ourselves so that we can be our best self, so that we can take that pain, we can take that hurt and turn it into a message, and turn it into your passion, and turn it into a purpose for happening, right? And then it doesn't tell them that it's okay. That's something that's so important. I want you all to know that even when you forgive, it doesn't tell the person it's okay, because remember, we talked about boundaries. So even if this person hurt you and you still have to be in contact with them, there's boundaries. Your boundaries could be, oh, I'm not talking to them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to have a relationship with them. That's your boundary, and that's okay. Or your boundary could be, hey, I'm going to be respectful and probably wave my hand, but that's it. I'm not having conversations with them. I'm not welcoming them over to my house. Or my boundaries are, I don't want people talking about this person around me, right? Or whatever your boundaries are. So that's why that's important, because it's not telling them that it's okay. I'm not saying that if they hurt you, go tell them, hey, I forgave you and we could be back to normal. Hell nah. Nah, hell no. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it. Trust me, there's things that I have forgiven, but there's certain boundaries I have in place with these people that I have forgiven. That doesn't mean I haven't forgiven them. I forgave them with all my heart. Now, am I about to go have a conversation with them and go to dinner and be best friends? Hell no. No, because that's my boundary, right? And you have to find that place in you and what's comfortable with you and what feels right with you to have a boundary in place, so that it's not telling them, okay, it's okay. It's not telling them that, oh, I pardon you, you could do it again. It's not telling them that. Hell no. I've forgiven you in my heart, but guess what? I don't want to have this relationship with you. And that's okay. It's okay for you to have boundaries in place that is healthy for you. And the last question I have that I was asked is, I heard you mention the 10-10 rule. What is that? I love the 10-10 rule. So I don't remember the lady name. I can't remember it. But the 10-10 rule is a rule that I basically live by. And it is taking 10% of your income 3 times. So that's 30% rather. Taking 30% of your income and doing 3 separate things with it. 10% is you take 10% and you donate it. Or you give it, you donate it. You take another 10% and you save it. And you take another 10% and you do something special for yourself. So let's say you make $1,000, right? You make $1,000. So now you have $1,000. 70% of that is $700. So you're going to take that $700, pay your bills, live, do your food, your whatever with that 70%, which is that $700. Then you're going to take this other $300 and do 3 things with it. You're going to take $100 and put into your savings, right? Because everybody is need to have a savings, right? I'm that person. I believe everybody needs to have a savings. No, I'm not telling you to save all of your money, but have some sort of savings. You worked, so save this money, right? Have 10%, $100 that you save, and then you have another 10%, which is $100 that you do something for yourself. You can use that $100 to go get your feet done, to go get your nails done, to go get your hair done, or to go get a massage, or you're gonna go buy some shoes that's $100, or you're gonna go buy this purse that's $100. You do something for yourself, and the reason why that part is extremely important is because you want to take care of yourself. You have worked for this $1,000, and you're not working to pay bills. You're not living to pay bills. You're not living to save all your money. You're living to be able to enjoy life. And you're living to be able to take care of yourself and do some things that you enjoy. So this 10% guarantees that you will have something for yourself. So you're going to take that $100 and do whatever the hell you want to do with that $100. And I don't mean that use that $100 to give to somebody else or to buy the kids clothes, or no. This $100, that 10% is used for you. For you, however you want to use it, but it has to be spent on you. It has to be spent on you. So we have 10% for the savings, which is important so that you can put some of the money you have made up to save. So you don't know, that savings may be down payment on your car, down payment on your home, or a vacation, or that 10% of that what's in your savings may be for I may quit my job and I may need this to last me a month. Whatever it is, you're using that 10% to save something. That second 10% is for self-care. So you can make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're doing things that you like. You are buying things for yourself, and you're not only giving to others, or not only buying for others, or not only working to pay bills. You're doing something that is pleasing and that's something that you really want. And the last 10% is for you to give. Donate it. There's something special about donating our time and our energy with different organizations, right? Whether that's feeding the hungry, clothing those who need clothes, maybe volunteering at a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter, whatever. That's beautiful to share your time and your energy. But also, on a real flip side, it takes money to run organizations. It takes money for certain things to happen. And no, I'm not saying take your money and go donate it to the Red Cross or whatever. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to donate to smaller places and smaller entities and organizations, or even people, right? You can do that. There's GoFundMe's, or that 10%, which is that other $100. You may have, you have a cousin that just got a job and she don't have the finances to buy her clothes for her new job, right? And you say, okay, well, I'm going to bless you with these $100. Here's $100 for you to go get your clothes so you can start your new job. Here's $100, Mom, just for you to go get a massage. It's you taking the $100 and giving it to someone or something, right? There was one time we went to Cuba for our anniversary last year, and we fell in love with Cuba in a town called Guanabacoa. And the kids there, he had to be 3 or 4, and he was playing a huge drum, a djembe, on him. And the drum was extremely too big for him. His hands were so small. And she told us, hey, she was just telling us, oh, the kids play the big drums because we haven't found the money for them to get the small drums, and the set of drums were $500 or something. And it was 3 sets. Oh no, four drums. That would be $500 or something. But it'd be enough for the kids in the village to be able to play and learn on something their size. And a few months later, we decided to send them the $500 to give them send them the $500 to give them the money to buy the drums. No, it's not a big organization. No, it's not a nonprofit. But we sent it to them, and we got the pictures and everything. That was something that we wanted to do. Also, there's different people that we know that we have gave money to because, we really want to help this person. The thing is with it, you are saving your 10%, you're spending 10% on yourself, and you're donating 10%. All of it must be spent. My wife is funny. She'd be like, could I save my 10% this month and my 10% next month and then my 10% next month to get something big that I really want? Which is possible. You definitely could do that if you know that you're able. If not able, I won't use that word. If you know that you will do it and keep up with it. Because the thing is, you may say, I'm going to save this 100 here, I'm going to save this 100 here, I'm going to save this 100 here. But then you may spend that 100 somewhere else. You may end up buying a kid some clothes. You may end up putting it in your car. And you may not even have the 300 to spend in 3 months. If you know you're pretty disciplined and you say, I'm going to take this 100 and put it in my self envelope and take another 100, put it in my self envelope. And I'm going to keep putting these hundreds in my self envelope until I get $500 so I can buy this purse I want. Cool. But don't leave it in your account. Just like make sure that you're keeping up with it. Same thing with the savings. Like, okay, I want to bless this person or bless this organization, but I want to bless them with $500. Well, save your 10%. Save your 10% 5 times. That's funny. Save your 10% 5 times, but make sure you putting it to the side so that you can, when it's time and you get that 500, you will have the money. This isn't your savings. So you're not going, oh, I got 300 in my self envelope and I need 300 to pay for this for these kids. I'm going to take this 300 and pay for it. No. You're going to take that 300 from that savings that you've been saving, the 10%. So the 10-10 rule is save 10%, give 10%, and spend 10% on yourself. That is my 10-10, not my 10-10-10 rule, but that is the 10-10-10 rule that I really enjoy. And people always say, not people always, there are people that say, hey, Sunny, I don't have 30% to give. I don't have 10%, but think about it. If you can't find the 30% now with the income you have, you're not going to magically find the 30% when you get more income. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you that. How you do one thing is how you're going to do all things. So if you can't manage $100, you're not going to be able to manage $5,000. Because you can read studies, you can ask people. What you think about the people with the lottery. If that's the case, majority of lottery winners will still have money. But that's neither here nor there. But a lot of times, the more money you make, the more things you find to spend the money on, and the more expenses you occur, and everything like that. So even if it's $100 that you make, take $10 and donate it. $10 and spend it on yourself, whether that's your Starbucks coffee or a little gift card to Amazon. And take 10% and save it, 10% to give it to somebody. And that $70, you have $70 to pay your bills, to eat, and do whatever else that you need to do. But at least find it in your heart to do these things, because if you're not taking care of yourself now, it's going to be hard to do it with more money. If you're not giving now, you're going to make an excuse when you get more money. If you're not saving now, you're going to find a reason to spend and not save later. So I encourage everybody to do the 10%. And if you give to others, take care of yourself, you'll see your life change dramatically. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, be sure to leave me a review and share this episode with others. Also, you can screenshot it and post it on your social media page and tag me at I Am Sunny Brooks. Be sure to check out my website at www.iamsunnybrooks.com and follow me on all social media platforms at I Am Sunny Brooks. Let's heal and manifest together.